Talking Music with Big Andy. This week, Bethany Sin, Talking Music with me, Big Andy. Before we start the podcast, just a reminder, if you like what we're doing on here, please like the videos and subscribe to the channel and check out all the bands and all of the episodes, because that's what this is about. Thank you. Hello, welcome to the podcast. I'm Big Andy Walker, as you know, and I have with me today Christian Starkey, who is the singer and guitarist with Bethany Sin. Hiya.
Hiya.
Right. So starting off, it's you and there's Debbie Wildish, who used to be with Joan of Arc and plays lots of other things as well. On drums, is it just the two of you still, or are you looking for?
Well, the bassist thing's become a bit like Spinal Tap and the drummer. Actually, it's getting a bit ridiculous. We've had drummers go, "Oh yeah, I want to do it." Bassists rather, and then, "Oh, I'm too busy, I don't think I can do it." So then they're going, and then there's people that want to do it that don't have the time, and there's people that wanted to do it but weren't right. Because personality is really important to us, because we don't believe in egos, so we can write the song so much easier. You know, people can be quite protective over their parts. And we don't have that. You know, if something's rubbish, tell me, and it'll be like, right, we'll get rid of it, you know.
So you came together in 2020 during the lockdown.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How did that all come about?
Well, Rob Whiting, who's been in some local bands, Quantum Bigfoot back in the day and stuff like that. Me and him were jamming, and he said he knew this drummer. But then during lockdown, it wasn't right for him to continue. So me and Debbie said, well, we'll just jam. And then she kept saying, we should do an album. And I was like, I've only ever done demos. I know everyone else these days has done an album, but like, you know, for me, it's 4 tracks and, you know, So I was like, all right, let's do an album. And because of lockdown, it's the weirdest experience of my life, I think.
See, but you managed to get an album's worth of material together. I mean, that's quite an incredible, quite an impressive thing in the space of a year.
Yeah, it's quite incredible, because if you think about, like, if the science didn't exist for the phones and stuff, there's no way we've basically got a cyber band. Like we rehearsed about 11 hours before going into the studio to do the album, and it was only 11 hours of those songs, so we were absolutely killing ourselves in rehearsal, like, right, next song, and then quickly running through them at the studio, because we recorded the whole thing in 7 days. Wow. And like there's a fair bit we change about it, but we're completely happy with it as well. So it's like, well, that's like 7 days. We've got to be happy with that, you know.
Yeah. The album, let me see if it gets right. The album's called Illumination, and literally only just come out.
Literally last Wednesday, I think it was. Week today. Yeah.
Cool. That's good. I must admit, considering it's just the two of you, I think it sounds incredible.
Oh, thank you.
It's got such a full sound to it, and it's got such a good sound to it. It's got a really complete sound, if you know what I mean. It doesn't sound like there's anything missing anywhere. Which, as there's only two of you, I think is quite an amazing thing. It's really, it's a really good,
I mean, we're really proud of it. I think that's because it's all songwriting based, so it's not the band sort of coming up with riffs and building on the riff. I'm sort of writing the whole song, and then Debbie can come in and play what she wants. So I think that's what made it quite easy for us to do it that way, because there wasn't too many intricate bits. That's probably why it's a bit more of a simpler sounding album than it would have been had we been rehearsing.
The thing is, it doesn't come across as sounding simple. It comes across as sounding, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like, there used to be this thing, you don't get them very often now. There occasionally you do, but you don't get very often now. You used to get the power trio, people like the Pirates and Motorhead and people like that, who with just 3 people can make it sound like there's about a dozen of them.
Nirvana.
Nirvana,
Yeah.
And it, you don't seem to get as many of them now as you did. But that's the thing. I think what you've done with this is you've taken this, and maybe it is the fact that it's a little bit more simple, but it doesn't sound simple. It sounds complete, which I think is great.
I mean, it was quite interesting because me and Debbie have very different influences. I think she loves her Spin Doctors, and we both love the Chili Peppers, early Chili Peppers. And I suppose I come from darker roots, like a lot of the old Seattle stuff, heavy metal when I was younger, and then like really ugly rock. Whereas I think Debbie's been more into I suppose, more commercial. So
Right.
we've had a few moments like I love Soundgarden, and one of the things I love about them is how they'll abuse a riff. They'll play this riff forever and ever, and they don't change that riff, but the drums change and everything else changes around it. So it sounds like it's changing, but it's not. And at first, Debbie was like, "You've been playing that riff an awful long time," and I was like, "I know." This is slightly different style to, I think, what she's used to, but she's really enjoying it. So it's awesome.
I think to be honest, I mean, I don't know about your background or where you come from, but knowing a bit about Debbie's background, having met her before and having seen Joan work with Joan of Arc and that sort of thing, I know she is a very, very good and very versatile drummer.
Yeah.
So I could see her fitting in with anything you could kind of throw at her. May take her a little while to get her head around it, but I could see her doing it quite without any problem at all.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, when I was looking stuff up about you, it didn't. I couldn't find anywhere that gave the band a kind of pigeonhole description of, like, alt rock or grunge, or what I mean. Nobody seems to have done that, which is quite unusual, really.
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting. We're getting a lot of interviews back and reviews back from Brazil. Me and Debbie have been laughing about it.
Okay.
That Spinal Tap thing again, saying you've got a big album in Japan. We were like joking about the fact we're big in Brazil because we're getting so much attention from Brazil.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. But in Brazil, it's very much they're saying Pearl Jam, U2, Nirvana, and Jeff Buckley and Chris Cornell. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
But then there's been a few that I don't like so much, but that's to do with my age. And, like when Creed get mentioned, I'm a bit like, oh, because that just makes me think, her singing like this, and I definitely don't want to do that.
No. I mean, musically, I can kind of see what they might be talking about.
Yeah.
It's that kind of, it's that very full sound, that very kind of big sound from the band.
Yeah. I mean,
but I was interested. The thing I saw was it said about influenced by Soundgarden, Kings of Leon, Nirvana, Jeff Buckley, and Neil Young.
Yeah.
That kind of, there's a couple in there that kind of Jeff Buckley and Neil Young kind of clash.
Yeah, they clash a bit, don't they? Jeff Buckley, it's just the voice. He's just an incredible voice. And listening to the way he wrote his songs, that really inspired me. Like, But I think Neil Young, for me, it's more of the fact that I'm one of those singers that can, to me, I feel like I don't have the control, say, a Heather Smalls does. Heather Smalls, why we use that as an example? But
Yeah.
yeah, I
I know what you
feel my
mean.
voice could always get away from me. So I don't have the control that maybe I should. I don't know. But then I quite like that because it's about realness.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't. That's what we did with the production. We tried not to make it sound perfect because everyone sounds too perfect at the minute, and it's almost like there's personality missing from some people's bands because they get the Pro Tools out and they're click tracking everything, and it all
Yeah.
sounds ginormous, but it's like, but there's personality missing.
I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of grew up a long time ago. I'm very old, but I I kind of grew up originally listening to kind of jazz and rock and roll, and it was always the raw edge of it, the live sound from the studios that was what was appealing about it. It was that kind
Yeah.
of that feel that they'd just gone in and recorded it. They hadn't spent hours making everything just right. They'd
Yeah.
gone and played the song, recorded it, and put it out. You know, that was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I've always liked that kind of that rawness, that kind of feel that it's just like it's almost like sort of you know, when if you go and see this band live, they're going to perform.
Yeah.
Not like, you know, you listen to it and you go, how the hell are they ever going to do that live? There's
Yeah.
50
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Well, actually, Rob Jones, who he's from a band called Missing Andy. They were on Sky One a while
Yeah,
back. They've been doing really well for years, but he
yeah.
produced it and stood in on bass.
Oh, right.
So he really helped out there because obviously we didn't have a bass player. And he said, "I play bass." I said, "Oh, okay, throw some bass down." So it was very much just like, yeah, we'll just see what happens.
Yeah,
We're
no,
not going to worry about it.
I do like the album. I like the I like the sound of it, the production of it. Everything sounds really good.
Oh,
Um,
brilliant.
where do you get your inspiration from for the songs? That's the thing. Because I mean, you were saying about you come from a bit more of a dark sort of place with your uh
Yeah.
influences.
I mean, when I was growing up, music was always like the family member I didn't have. It was the thing that got me through hard times, and I think that was the thing I wanted to do. But
Yeah,
honestly, I just try and serve the song. Um, like my lyrics are, some of them are important and some are a bit more throwaway. Um,
okay.
but yeah, it's just I want to feel something when I'm writing a song. I want to feel something. Like I can't just write a song and go, "Ooh, that's okay, that'll do." You know,
Yeah.
and if that answers your question, feel like I'm blabbling.
No, it's fine. I mean, there are some of them that definitely show us kind of a darker kind of they come from a place obviously from inside you that's a place that isn't necessarily a place you feel comfortable or nice in. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Um,
I but I think that's where the best music comes from.
yeah,
I think the best music comes from anger, sadness, or happiness. You know,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
that's where the good stuff is, and I think that's why, you know, some of the some of the things I'm talking about are ancient, but I've sort of thought about them, written about them, and then updated them a bit, and
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
they're not all necessarily happening now, or I'd be having quite a dark life. But you know,
I must admit, I really like Blackout Feeling.
yeah.
That's a really good song. I just
Thank you.
it's
Yeah,
really kind of
I mean that one's important. That's about anger issues, as I'm sure you might
yeah,
have picked up.
I kind of got that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There was one of them that though that I don't know. I wanted to ask about because I don't know if I missed something when I was listening to it. I just didn't quite. And it's Straining Manitoba.
Right, yeah.
I don't. I mean, it's not that I don't like it. I do, but it was just kind of like something about me afterwards. Something about it afterwards left me kind of thinking, what was that about, really?
I feel a bit like that when I listen to it. Yeah, I think that was the very last song I wrote. No, that was actually Little Fella. It was the second to last song,
Right.
and Straining Manitoba, because Straining Manitoba it's just like a slang word. Me and my mates use. We use the word Manitoba. I think it's like ancient Eskimo for relationship. So it's like
Okay.
straining relationship, straining Manitoba. But I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head how much of the lyrics are actually relevant to that. Because I do have me Kurt Cobain moments where I just go off on one and I'm talking about something completely different. You know.
I must admit, I kind of like thought it's really quite an odd thing for a a band that are kind of UK based to write a song called Strolling Manitoba, and it kind of like doesn't seem to be connected to the place or
No, yeah.
with that. It's a bit like, what is this?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
But it's good. I mean, I like the whole thing. It's
That is the one I listen to and think I wish we'd have had a little bit more time. Not because of that, but just when I listen to certain bits, I'm like, oh, we should have gone there with that. And,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's, learn
But
from it.
the thing about it is, it's one of those things. I remember years ago being told by an artist, if you ever create something that's absolutely perfect, you'll stop working.
Yeah,
You'll never do it again because of the fact you can never recreate that perfect thing.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's like you were saying, like we haven't been pigeonholed. I think the thing we're being pigeonholed with mostly is the 90s tag, which I find quite funny because I don't think when bands come out that sounded like Led Zeppelin, they get stuck with a 70s tag. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean. It's quite interesting. I've talked to other people about this on this program. It's kind of like this whole. I hate the whole pigeonhole thing anyway. Music is music, and it's just you either like it or you don't. It's as simple as that. And
Yeah.
the band don't have any proper videos up at the moment, so let's just hear some of the music.
This is bigger than that. I'm out of time, that's a fact. Wear my heart on my sleeve, let's relax. Stripped of the day that you collapsed. I never stopped to take the beauty in. I never stopped to take the beauty in. Stop the beauty. 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 It drags me under. Stop the beauty. Let me be free.
So, where do we go from here? Are you looking to? I mean, obviously, you're still looking at the idea of getting a bass player so that you could
Yeah.
do gigs, I would imagine.
So we're at the moment we're doing loads of press. Like I've done a couple of interviews with Brazilian people.
Right.
There's a lot going on in Brazil. It seems so surreal, but I don't know. Brazil were embracing us, so that's great. Yeah, other than that, it's just a case of harassing people at the minute. Sort of the albums come out, but we don't have money behind us. We haven't got a manager behind us or a label behind us. So it's down to us to do it old school, Fugazi style, really, and just go and, I don't know, throw the CD at people and go, "Oi, have it."
Well, I mean, it's, as I say, I mean, I came to the band because of the fact that I knew Debbie through Joan of Arc, and then when I listened to the stuff on Spotify, I thought this is really good. You know, and it's really worth putting it out there for get people to listen to it. You know,
Yeah, that's really kind of you to say.
oh no, it's one of the things I've noticed is that there's a lot of really good bands coming out at the moment, and they're coming out from all over the place, and it's been an interesting thing doing this show because of the fact that I've come across some really interesting different bands.
Yeah.
It's not all the same stuff, which is what I love. But yeah, I mean, as I say, obviously you're going to want to do some gigs at some point.
Oh, definitely. We can't wait. Yeah.
So the finding a bass player will be a thing.
Debbie's talking about doing some acoustic gigs. So I think she wants to do just me and her, which I'm open to do that. It's how we rehearse. So it doesn't bother me if there's bass missing. You know, we could be the White Stripes for a couple of nights or something.
Here's some more of their music. Recording, is there any of that?
Well, it's fun. It's funny you say that. I've been recording. I've been writing today, and I've ended up with 2 new songs and 6 that I'm working on. But we're not planning to do the second album like a week after the first one's come out. So
no,
I'm not sure what's going there. I just thought I'll just keep writing. I'll keep writing, and then we'll get to the second album eventually. But I think what I'm going to do is do a few more acoustic songs off the album and put them on Instagram because we don't have too much content. And I'm learning about all the Instagram stuff as well, like buttons and URLs, and just going right, yeah.
And what about doing some proper video things?
Yeah, we were going to try and we want to do a video for Little Fella because that's going to be the first single.
Okay.
But I'm going on holiday to Cornwall next week, so it won't be till after then. So, but that's what we definitely want to do a video for Little Fella. We need to get some proper photos done as well. Yeah. Not that we're overly fussed with that, but yeah.
Have you got a thing in mind for the video?
I think Debbie knows somebody. Yeah. Yeah, I think Debbie knows somebody. I don't really have anyone in mind. I'm the one that does all our rubbish advert things on Instagram.
So, I mean, I'm assuming you've been doing this for quite a while, that you were in other bands before.
Yeah, mostly as a singer.
Okay.
My first band was in 1993. I was 15 and we were called the Immortal Gnomes. and we played at the Lord Nelson in Clacton. There was an amazing scene back then.
Yeah.
There's some amazing bands from back then, Cotton Drill and Razor's Edge, and the cover bands like Tattered and Torn and Crusader, who everyone knows. And then I joined a band called Farrell, and I was with them for about 2 years. That's quite hardcore, a bit like Pantera, so it was quite heavy. And then I joined a band called Enmity, and we released an EP on Cacophonous Records, but that was proper heavy, like. And then I don't know, I started getting this thing like, I wonder if I could sing properly, because all the music I listened to, it wasn't all heavy metal. So I wonder if I could actually sing like that. And at first I couldn't, because I was too used to screaming and shouting, which I've been doing for, I think, about 9 years.
Right.
And then I went to see a singing coach who just gave me a few pointers about singing from the diaphragm, which I'd never done. And then I was like, oh, I can kind of sing in tune. So I was in a band called Last Exit and Phoenix Butterfly, just vocals. And then I did my own band with guitar, because I wanted to see if I could do it, called Bad Moon. But then our drummer died at the age of 24. He was in Jack's Family as well, Nicholas Spall. So then I continued Bad Moon on for about another 5-6 months. And then I was just like, oh, I think I'm done with this.
Yeah.
It's just too hard. I don't, I've lost my drummer. I've got a replacement, but obviously, he was my best friend or whatever. So
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
And then I had 7 years off, didn't touch a guitar, sold everything. And then literally 2.5 years ago, my old band members from Phoenix Butterfly contacted me. It wasn't 2 years, about 2 years ago, and we were going to reform and try it again. And then we couldn't settle on a band name, so it all fell apart. Literally, we hadn't spoken 11 years, and it blew up in about 11 hours. So I thought, oh, you know what? I was really excited about the prospect of doing music again. So I'm going to pick up a guitar and see what happens. And it's just sort of snowballed since then. I'm not really planning things. They're just happening and being done. And then it's right, what's next, It's been really organic.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I find it I always find it quite interesting. There's that time when you start a band, there's that point where you suddenly go, we need a name. And it just becomes mayhem.
Band names.
Everybody comes up with names. After the time, you're looking at people going, what? Where did you get that from?
Well, the one that started the argument was, what was it? Half Light. And the other two members were like, Half Light, yeah. And I was like, but there's a kids game called Half Life, isn't there? Wouldn't we get confused? Oh yeah, that'll do. And then the next day it's like, I can't live with it anymore. I've got to say something, and it all blows up. So
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's interesting. I find that band names with bands that I've been in, band names normally came out of something completely ridiculous.
Yeah,
everyone just suddenly went, yes, that's it. But it's, one thing I would say is I noticed going back through your Instagram stuff, at one point you had an S on the end of Bethany. It was Bethany's Sin.
Yeah, that's right.
You suddenly dropped the S, and I couldn't work out why that was. Why did you drop the S?
It was interesting. There's quite a good story behind that, because the name Bethany Sin was actually, my sister wanted to start a band in 1994. She doesn't play an instrument, so she was never going to start a band, but she used to always go on about Bethany Sin. And I remember thinking, that'd be a really good band name. I'm going to nick that one day if she doesn't use it. And then it was time to do another band, my band again, because I don't like being the band, the leader or whatever. I don't like it. I like someone else to tell me what to do. I don't like this. But yeah, so I was going with Bethany Sin, and then it was actually my wife said, you should take the S off. was like, Bethany Sin, because then it sounds more like a person, like
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
actually, we'll do that because, yeah. And the other reason I chose that name is because I like bands like, I don't know, I like the fact there's a feminine thing to it, like Alice in Chains or Jane's Addiction.
Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
just like that. Yeah. Yeah.
The thing I like about it is I find I like bands who have names that you don't necessarily have any idea what it is they're going to play.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you get a band that are called something like Sacred Reich, you go and look at it and go, they're a heavy metal band.
Yeah. Sepultura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, something like Bethany Sin, you kind of look at it and go, what is that? It's probably rock, but what type of rock?
Yeah.
Which is, I think it makes people don't have that kind of expectation of like you go and see a band with, it's like I absolutely love this thing. I'm been trying to get her onto this show because I really want to talk to her about it. There's a singer-songwriter, female singer-songwriter who does kind of like pop sort of stuff, like rock pop stuff, but she uses the name Skull Crusher.
Right.
And I thought, Skull Crusher, there's got to be a heavy metal band.
And it's a little pop girl.
Yeah. I thought, I really want to interview her to find out what made her decide on that.
Yeah, that's a weird one, isn't it? Weird names. Maybe she's thinking it'll be like a Billie Eilish thing where people go, "Oh, that's a strange name."
So, plans for the future. Do you have a glorious 5-year plan that, you know, where you want to be with it all, headlining Wembley and playing Glastonbury? And
oh, I've got to be honest, we are making this shit up as we go along, really. We really are. Like, I'm literally throwing it at everyone, trying to get something to happen, because it's like it's now or never, you know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it has to. We're just going to drive this so hard and see where we can get, because I think it's good enough to get somewhere. The dream's always been to be able to. Oh, thanks. The dream's always been to make a living off music. It's not about being a celebrity or any of that stuff.
Yeah. As far as your music goes, I hope it gets picked up. I hope you get a lot of airplay and stuff from people. It's really worth it. I really like the album, and I think that I'd really like to see it go places with it. And
oh, that's amazing. Thank you.
No, it's great. And also see what else you can do. And I'd love to come and see you guys live some point, because I really would like to see what it's like live, because it's got a lot of energy with it on the album. So live, I would imagine it'd be even more so.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to play live. Just need that bass player.
Yeah. Well, if anybody's watching is a bass player and they've got time on their hands and they want to have a listen to the music, it's on Spotify and it's on online everywhere. I'm going to put links on this video for you to listen to the music and all that kind of thing. Thank you very much for being on here with me.
Oh, pleasure.
It's been great talking to you. As I say, I hope everything goes really well with the album, and I look forward to hearing more from you in the future and seeing you live.
Awesome.
So
yeah, awesome. Can't wait. You'll be on the guest list.
Thank you very much.
Maybe Coda. I think Coda looks cool.
Yeah.
Although I haven't been in there, but it does keep waving at me, going, "Come in here." So yeah.
Thanks to anybody for tuning in. Thank you for being here, Christian, and we'll see you again sometime. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Awesome. See ya.
Talking Music with Big Andy.